For the past 2 years, we have focused on prompt engineering, learning how to write better prompt from AI. But the new shift is an emergent. Instead of optimization in developer prompts, we're starting to design autonomous systems that can plan, execute, verify, and iterate on their own. This is a new mindset that is calling loop engineering. And today I will explore what is this, why it matters, and how it's changed the way that we will build AI-powered software. So the most of us write agents by hand, one turn at a time. Write the prompt, wait, with the output, correct it, and repeat. It works, yeah, but in the pace of the entirely bound to us. Land the metaphor. Right now, we are holding the tool and guiding every stroke. Set up the tension that the rest of the action that we will see here in the agents, no? Roughly 9 intense builders have never written a single loop. Yeah, this is true. The tooling is built for agent. Most of the team is still run in entirely by hand. Developers and teams are already using cloud code in areas here, codecs, or simulations every day. The capability is sitting right in the front of us. The habit just hasn't caught up. This is how most of us work with AI agents today. Write the prompt, wait the results, review the output, adjust the prompt, and repeat the entire cycle. The human is orchestrating every single interaction. So we are deciding what to do next, when to retry, what to fix, and when the task is complete. In other words, the loop exists, but it's running in our heads. As our project becomes longer and involves multiple tasks, files, or agents, this manual approach doesn't scale. The bottleneck is no longer the model. No, it's the human driving every interaction. At first glance, it looks like AI limitation, but it isn't. The real bottleneck is what every interaction still depends on us. We decide what to do the next. We restore the missing context, we verify the output, we determine whether the task is complete. The agent doesn't remember previous runs, doesn't own the workflow, and doesn't know what comes next unless we tell it. In other words, the intelligence of the processes is still lives in the developer, not in the system. And that is exactly the problem of loop engineering is trying to solve. The idea behind the looping engineering is very simple. Instead of manually prompting an AI at every step, we design a system that drives those interactions automatically. The developer role shifts from the executing interaction to define the goal, the constraints, and the feedback loop. In other words, we stop engineering prompts and start engineering autonomous systems. Let me show this like an example. This is the key idea I want to everyone remember today. The loop engineering is not about writing better prompts. It's about moving one level up in the abstraction. For the last couple of years, we have been acting as operators. We sit in front of the agent, writing prompt, wait the answer, inspect the output, we decide what to do next, write another prompt and repeat. Every decision in that workflow comes from us. So this sounds like a subtle distinction, but they actually completely different engineering model. If you look in the left of the diagram, the human is responsible for everything. The human remembers the objective, the human decides the next step, the human restores the context, When it's lost, the human evaluates whether the result is good enough. The human effectively acting as the scheduler, the orchestrator, the memory layer, and the quality gate. In other words, the developer is the loop. Now, take a look at the second one. No, the developers still provide the goal, constraints, the success criteria, the responsibility never disappears. But instead of manually driving every interaction, we engineer a loop that can operate autonomously. The loop plans the work, it involves a proprietary agent, it evaluates the result and decides whether another interaction is needed. It restores the person context and memory outside of the conversation. And it continues until the objective is satisfied. The AI didn't become smarter. The prompts didn't become magically better prompts. The system becomes smarter. The intelligence moved from the conversation to architecture. That is why I like to describe the loop engineering as architectural pattern rather than a prompting technique. You are no longer optimization individual prompts. You are engineering autonomous execution systems. Actually, we are running this in a project that we are working on. Okay, what if the agent never have rediscovered the project? Every day we generate new information: meeting notes, confluent the page, API specification, architectural decisions, vendor documentations. Traditional those documents are scattered in the most every new document becomes an immutable source. The AI ingests the information, updates the project wiki, expands the glossary, detects the contradiction, identifies the knowledge gaps, and maintains the architectural decision. The important part isn't the documentation itself. The important part is that the next execution loop starts everything in the previous loop learned. The project accumulates knowledge instead of returning the context every day. That is what makes the loop engineering pattern. We didn't just improve documentation. We gave an AI agent persistent memory. Actually, we're working in a project of a customer, this one, starting 2 weeks ago. And the results so far so good. Okay. The problem isn't the AI models are capable enough. The problem is they still rely on humans to drive every interaction. The loop engineering changed that. Instant optimization individual prompts, we engineer a system that can plan, execute, evaluate, and improve autonomously. The result is just in high productivity. It becomes the component of a much larger discipline. The future belongs to the engineer who can design liveless autonomous system, not just writing better prompts.